a supermarket, or it's breaking up a gathering on the streets, or whatever it is, or certainly a religious gathering. You'll remember a couple of weeks ago I made very clear that any attempt by any people of any faith to gather in religious worship is unacceptable, and I'm sorry it will have to be broken up, but it will. We're going to get out more and more of both the overall numbers, but also I want you to see the pictures. I want you to hear the stories. I want you to see how much enforcement has been done. I don't think it's been portrayed effectively. I think a lot more is happening than has been talked about, and I'm going to ask NYPD in particular to put all of that out more so you see it.
Next we have Marsha from CBS.
Marsha?
My question today has to do with when the city gets to the point of reopening, but it has to do with the fact that you've had a lot of people who are city workers who have passed away because of the virus, be it transit workers, be it, firefighters, police officers, and especially teachers. And I wonder if that's going to make it more difficult for you to reopen. I mean, kids going back to classrooms where their teacher isn't there anymore. Sanitation workers unable to pick up the trash. And how difficult will it be that your workforce has been depleted? What special problems will that pose for you, and especially in the classroom? Yeah,
Marsha, it's much more of a human problem and an emotional problem than anything. I want to start with that. I think for all the folks who serve us, the fact that they have lost their colleagues, I think a lot of them are going to go into, the future with that pain, whether you're at a sanitation garage or you're at a school or a police precinct, just, the loss of someone they cared about and someone that they work so closely with. I think that's going to be a pain that we'll feel for a long, long time. And I think in school communities in particular, it's going to be very, very challenging because we have schools that have lost teachers, principals, people who are backbones of school communities, and a school community is like an extension of the family. It's very, very tight-knit. You're also going to have kids who have lost family members. So one of the things the chancellor talked about in the last week is how we have to provide a lot of mental health support starting now, and we're going to be expanding that as we go through the spring, for children and families who have been through a lot, but really getting ready for the beginning of school in September. I think it's going to be a painful beginning, trying to sort out how to move forward while recognizing the loss and the trauma that kids have been through. So that's where I think the real challenge is, and it's a tough one, and we're going to, whatever is needed to address it, we're going to provide. In terms of, running our city and moving forward, we're going to find a way, as we always do. But the losses are great, and not just in number, in talent, some incredible human beings who did so much. But, we will find a way through that problem. I think the emotional and human and psychological problem is going to be, in many ways, the tougher part.
Next, we have Julia from The Post.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Mayor. I know we're still months away from reopening the city, but you said on Morning Joe this morning that you thought that workplace temperature checks would be a key point of reopening. I'm just wondering if you could expand on that a little bit. Will those be, do you think you'll require that? Will they be suggested? Will we see temperature checks at restaurants? And what are the other facets other than citywide testing for a reopening plan?
Yeah, Julia, we're going to be putting out more and more specifics of the reopening plans as we're working through the details for this city. I would say the important thing to recognize with the temperature checks, they absolutely have a role to play. They've been an important tool in other countries that have had some of the better experiences containing the coronavirus and working their way back. But guess what? There's not enough thermometers right now. So this is another one of these staggering